All right, let's get to it. I don't even want to wait. Let's just get to it. Welcome. What is it? It's a Sunday. It's a Sunday. Welcome. Welcome on a Sunday live chat. The chat is here. The chat is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Crystal XO, and of course, this is my co-host, my main man, Scorpio Mo, and we are here to get into the foolishness and folly that we witnessed on the live, which is actually, I believe, still going on. Started at 7 p.m. With Rose, Taye, and Kiara. And it's a lot to unpack because so Rose, Taye, and Kiara, and then D got on, and then Cam got on, and then D came back. I believe they were chit-chatting with Naeem. It was a lot. It was a lot happening. So Mo, Felicia, she was over there. She says the IG was fire. What were your thoughts on the IG live that we just were texting back and forth about and witnessing?
Ooh, okay. I mean, some information came out. That's the only reason I wanted to see. Right. But this is their first time trying to get things in order, talking over one another. Once they got to the part of rehashing keep talking about the same thing, they were basically done. Yeah. But I think the ladies gave it a shot. They did well. I did expect more numbers over there than it was.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing. And I think that's what people have to understand. I would just say this. I learned because my job when I started this, when Ready to Love first started, I was an entertainment publicist, and I started doing conversation for a magazine I was writing for, and this was our audience. So it's not easy to do conversations on stuff, and I think a lot of the YouTubers, because I did hear that Rose said she was going to drop some more tea on her. Rosalie with T Rosalie or something like that. So she wanted to hold off sharing until her own podcast and all that. But the thing about it, you have such a short window, and because they don't let you talk about it during the season, at least not the things that people want to know, it can be very difficult to navigate. So I think that the cast did a good job, trying to narrate their own story. I did see some of the other bloggers, were in the room. But it was definitely interesting. I think sometimes when you're narrating your own story, you can kind of get in your own way. But what I liked about what they did tonight is they asked each other questions. And so we'll get to this later, but when Cam came on, Kiara was not having it. She went in for the real questions. She was a professional blogger. She went in and she was like, Cam, what is it? She asked the direct questions. And I think that was dope. What I would have liked to see the ladies do more, and I think Taye tried to do it, is to hold each other accountable for some things. And I think because they're friends, it's kind of hard to do that. What's up, Sean? What's up, Haitian Empress? So what were your thoughts on tonight's live?
Some a little disappointed. I still don't believe some of the things that were said. Some things were cleared up, and I'll work my way back to front. Pause. But that sounds crazy.
It did. I did not like it. I didn't like it.
Whoa. But even with the Cam situation, and I understand him wanting to piece it up and don't, but the things were out, and I just think he didn't keep it real on there. He kept it more real on the show, I think, and he tried to clean some things up. To a sensible person, it doesn't make the things that he said doesn't make sense. And we're gonna dive deeper into that. But
I want to say it's hard. What I saw from that, what you're speaking about with Cam, it would be very difficult for him to be honest with one of his connections there, asking questions and trying to basically create, color the story. So I think that if Rose had not have been on the live and it was just Cam on with Taye and Kiara, I think he would have been a lot more honest.
Yeah, but even like when they said, you know, everything's a year old, they met up for coffee a week ago. But the thing is, somebody's got to go. The way he's spinning it is just like, even because he even tried to backtrack, not backtrack, but clean up, because it's tough. Because you throw Sahara under the bus, like he said,
Right.
you know. But at the same time, all you got to do is forget what he said and watch his actions. His actions were with her on the bus.
Yes.
His actions were. Now, do I believe? I definitely believe, and that's what I was trying to tell you. They can't tell. So you're trying to respect the process, and then here's someone you like trying to pull something out of you. But at the same time, it felt to me when he saw Hussein getting all the attention, he wanted to step up. That's when it felt like he did. And maybe he was looking for the house, but it still doesn't excuse the fact on the way with the bus.
Yeah, I mean, he did say he didn't want to downplay the connection with Sahara, but let's go back, because they are still on the live. We just started hearing some of the same things, so I was like, well, let's still get on, because I didn't want us to not hang out with our people, because they are still going. But I will say this: let's start initially. Rose made a comment early on that I wanted to address. She said that a lot of women were coming down on her. A lot of women were coming down on her because of hold on, because of her actions, right? I don't feel, and I said this on Friday, I was hoping that this year older Rose would take accountability for her actions. I did not, unfortunately, as Mo and the rest of a lot of the chat told me, that did not happen, right? So I just know Taye's IG because we talked to Taye, but that did not happen. Rose was not. I'm sorry. Rose was not more. Did not take any accountability. In fact, she made a statement, and I didn't know if you heard this, Mo, but she said that she was the most ready to love out of everybody. Taye is nurse_Taye_CRNA. She said she was the most. She said everybody knows I was the most ready to love out of everybody.
Yeah.
No, Rose, you were not. And I will say this. She said that she felt like older women were not showing her grace. And she said that she felt like older women, instead of tearing her down, because Black women should not be tearing each other down. I want to say this, first of all. Just because you're a Black woman does not mean that you should not be held accountable for something you do. And I think that it's important, because what has happened is Black women are not holding each other accountable, and that's a problem, right? So I'm actually harder on, my mother was always harder on me than people outside in the street. So I really don't care what other races of women are doing. I love them, but I really care about us. So when I see one of us doing something, I'm a little harder on that, because I know that's how I was raised. Now, I'm definitely from a different generation where, you know, we held each other accountable in a very different way. But her lack of, I agree, Beauty and Brains, her lack of self-awareness and accountability was very loud. Now, what I heard tonight leads me to believe that she doesn't even really know. I think she doesn't get it, right? Because she says she's healed, but she never took accountability for what she did. Even towards the end of the conversation with Cam, where she was proving that she did see a text message in his phone that said that one of his girls that he was having an intimacy with could have possibly been pregnant. And she still didn't understand why that was inappropriate for her to air out on the reunion, after dealing with him after the reunion and calling him all these names.
She
Go ahead.
She kind of did, but she didn't do it to us. They did it in their private conversation. So we weren't privy to that. And technically, that is between him and her. But as far as they talk, she did say at least twice, like, look, I realized what I was wrong. That's what we talked about. You realized what we were wrong. And I think what we're wanting is us to hear her tell him. You see
No,
what
what I'm wanting her to say is that it was wrong for me to do that.
She did to him.
No. It was wrong for me to do that the way she did on the show. She said that they had a conversation. They met up for coffee and they had a conversation where they both admit, she was very, very clear. They both admitted things that they did that were wrong. Yes, Cisco did get married. I got a picture that we're going to post in just a second. And I have something to say about that. But I think with Rose, what I'm looking for is because you're on this show, but she had an issue with Cam. She had a situation with Hussein, and she also had an issue with Eddie, all on that reunion. What I would have liked to see her do is say that I should not have acted the way I acted at the reunion. I should have handled myself differently at the reunion. And we didn't hear that at all. In fact, she made up some additional reasons why she had issues, at the show. There, she said that she had fibroids, and I'm not saying she doesn't have fibroids, but sis, if you have fibroids and you're in pain, and that's keeping you from being in your right mind, then maybe you should not have been on the show. She said that's why she was acting irrationally. She was on pain meds. It's still giving you need to take accountability for you. Like, fibroids, a lot of Black women deal with fibroids. Actually, we are having an event. And if you want to be a part of that event, I will send you an invite. We're women with fibroids, but it's not giving, sis, you had the same energy for 3 different men. One of those men didn't even date you. So I would have liked to seen her say, you know what? I came back to the reunion hurt. I acted out, and I should not have done that, because it doesn't have anything to do with Cam. It felt like you apologized because he apologized to you, which really, and it also felt like they were thinking about spinning the block again. So
let me ask you this, because I do believe in like what you said when she was talking about the elders and all that. Like, but my thing is, and I know some people gonna feel away, but who can check a Black woman? Can nobody say nothing to? I mean, not even them Black woman to Black woman. Like, nobody can say anything. And if not, if so, you're wrong. So it's hard to even woman to woman. So God forbid a man say something, It's like, who can check her? Who checks that? That's why this shit crazy. It's like, can't nobody say nothing.
You ain't lying. You're not lying. You're not lying. I don't think, she said that she would have liked she said that some older women came in her DM, and she would have liked them to said something to her as opposed to dogging her out on social media. And I think this too, just because somebody says your behavior was wrong, doesn't mean that they're dogging you out on social media.
Thank you.
So I don't believe that we dogged them out on social media. I think that we said Rose's behavior was wrong. I don't care what. I really don't care. And I also said 2 things can be true. And you and I talked about that, how sometimes women feel like if a man is wrong, then that doesn't mean they can be wrong. And that's not the truth. Now, we did kiki and laugh, and I did, we did laugh a little bit about, the busting windows out the car, and in the words of our sister, Jasmine Sullivan. But the reality is, how you respond to a man tells people more about yourself than it does him. So the fact that the apology only came because of Cam apologizing to her and them going to lunch and talking, and then she did say there's, you don't never know what would happen in the future. She just, Rose, she also said something I wanted to see if you caught. The other girls said, specifically Deonna, she was talking about exes, and she was upset at Cam. That's how Cam got on, because Deonna was upset about him confronting her ex. And so she said that I don't have an ex that would want to come on the show. And we've always said that about Ready to Love. That's got to be really difficult to find an ex. A lot of people probably don't have an ex that would be open to coming on a show, right?
I got a couple.
Well, they probably want to spin the block. But I'm just saying they do. I know your exes. They probably will be open to spinning the block. But I think if things are really over and the door has been closed and locked, they may not want to do that. I can't think of any man, unless it's somebody that I wasn't really serious about. I only have one real ex, and I wouldn't go on no TV show and talk about that with him. He can kiss my behind. I don't even think he would ask me, and I also would not ask him. So I get what she was saying. Rose said all her exes would come. Her exes, she only has good relationships with her exes because even if they cheat on her, that doesn't make them a good man. That doesn't make them a bad man. That just makes them a man who thought with their little head instead of their big head, and that still makes them a good man. I call BS, Rose.
Even the guy locked up?
I call BS, Rose. I feel like Rose is doing what she did the whole show, and she panders to men a hell of a lot. I feel like in that live, she was pandering to Cam. I've always known you were a good guy, Cam, and no matter what, like we heard that the whole time. No. It's not even forgiving. It's a lack.
No, what's funny about that? When it made me think about, and she kind of said something to that effect again when she was like, yeah, he says stuff to me. We have our own. Let me tell you something. Every woman I talk to, listen, that's what you're supposed to do.
And I will say this, Deonna was the most rational out of the ladies because she said, that's what they're supposed to do. This is a show. Like, that is what a man is supposed to do. He is supposed to talk to as many women as possible to see who he likes. I like the girls from Philly because I feel like they were really trying to have each other's back, even at the point that they were wrong, right? But I do appreciate Deonna being rational and being like, nah, that doesn't make any sense. They're supposed to do that. He didn't really do anything wrong because he was talking to all the different women.
But that's what the whole time I've been saying about Cam. It's like because y'all think, or people think that he has a right to this process. And the other thing is you get to see in real time, well, not real time, but in front of you how it really goes.
Right.
Half these guys talking to you or just talking, like he's trying to figure it out as he's dating you, and you guys are doing the same thing, but now you get to see his stuff. Oh, he's wrong. He's indecisive. Half of y'all are indecisive and don't know what you want to do between the ex, the guy at your job, the guy you just met, the guy you went to high school on Facebook who contact you, and y'all seeing it happen. And, well, he can't make up his mind. Okay, but it's his process to do, and he that's what you're supposed to do. And she brought that up. I'm glad she said that.
She did. Felicia said, this is real. Felicia said, men who talk to multiple women are supposed to make them feel like they are the only one. Absolutely. And I mean, realistically, that is the point of the show. I know that we would like to think, ladies, I'm talking just to the ladies. I know that all of us want to believe that a man would see us initially, and he would see you and decide that's what he wants. But that's not realistic. It's not realistic. I have girlfriends who are like, well, if he don't know what he wants, how is he supposed to know in the beginning? How is he supposed to know? Because guess what? Rose also told us tonight that Fritz was her number one. I feel like Rose just went on the show feeling like she wanted everybody to like her.
Everybody wanted to win. She wanted to come up with a ring or whatever it is they get at the end of this thing. Listen,
Rose.
That's why she said that about her happy ending. Because at that point, I don't think it mattered. She just didn't want to be eliminated.
She didn't want to be eliminated. It made her feel like, and I get it. It could be an ego thing, but it wasn't even that, because she was just open to whoever would give her an opportunity. In fact, she said tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that she tried to basically backtrack her whole relationship with Hussein. And she said the only reason that Hussein was her number one is because Cam picked Sahara. And she felt like Sahara was Cam's number one, so that's why she made Hussein her number one. What?
You ever see two people lie to each other? That's what we were watching. It was two people lying to each other in front of us, and man,
I feel like Rose is going to, but I feel like she's genuinely confused. It was it was on Taye's Instagram, Shamia. Taye's Instagram. They're asking where was the it wasn't the interview, it was a live, and they just were all on there together, chatting. And Rose, she really, she needs a big sister that she would listen to, because her saying that she was the most ready to love showed me that she's delusional. Her also trying to explain how she ended up, she never took accountability for not telling Hussein or Cam or anyone about her son's father in prison. She said that, now we did learn that he didn't go to prison until 13 years after they split up. So that made me even more question why. Because women, you got to know this. You got to know that when a man asks you about your exes and you have a child, you have not just a child, you have a son. So for you to be like, oh, well, I don't even think about him, he's just a sperm donor. That man is trying to figure out why. He's trying to figure out why. Now, there are a lot of women that raise their children solo. We know that. But as a man coming into a relationship with you, he's trying to figure out what happened in that relationship. And that's fair.
What it is, it's got to be fair. Okay. Now, most men are more concerned about the last guy instead of the baby father, depending how far removed you are from it. I'm more worried. I'm more concerned about the last situation opposed to a situation that was 13, 14 years ago. So right. in that defense, I can understand somebody moving on and it's so far removed from her. Do you say it? Yeah. But it's more of an urgency to tell somebody what happened to the last one opposed to 13, 14 years. You see what I'm saying? That is kind of...
But it's your child's father, though. It's your child's father.
But right. They do need to know.
Yeah. I will say this, and then we will talk about Cisco, because I do think this is hilarious, and I have a theory. I think that the child's father is always going to be important, but there were people in the chat saying, well, Hussein just didn't want to be with her. He just didn't like her. And I don't think that is true. I think the fact that he consistently had her in his top meant that he did. But I also think that he was still deciding. He had not chose her. So you have to be, and if that was enough for him to say no, that's fine. But also, I believe there were other things that he saw that he did not like. If you guys remember, people act like they forget. If you remember when she brought her ex, Hussein and Cam both said something ain't right. It's like she's saying what she wants to hear. It's almost like she quizzed him beforehand and told him what to say. He was questioning that the whole time. So the fact that that was the straw that broke the camel's back does not mean that he was wrong or that he never liked her. It just meant that there were enough red flags for him to finally call a foul on the play and want it out. And that's within his right. That's well within his right. I would rather him do it that way than to have done it and dragged her out and then dragged her out, kept sleeping with her. You know what I mean?
That might have been the last red flag. You're right.
Yeah, I think it was the red flag, because we all said Cam and Hussein were able to tell something, and we started seeing it ourselves like, wait a minute, Rose changes with every conversation that she has.
That part, I'm not going to keep it right. That part, I don't mind. I mean, because like Cam said for those who haven't seen it when they just did the live, like different people bring different things out of you. Mm-hmm. You know, I might not have the same conversation with this woman as this woman, and they might not make me feel a certain way. So I can understand that. But you saw something early just about, I don't know what it is, maybe it's women's intuition about another woman, but you just saw this air of fakeness and you peeped it out early. you know, even before the chat did, like you were saying, and then as we went on, it started to, like I was saying, the pedals started to fall off, and I started to see, but it's not so much of what she said to him, but she catered to all of them in a way that it was like they were the one. And I guess you're supposed to, but I don't think everybody made everybody feel like they were their number one.
Well, it's okay, but when you're
Number
lying,
one?
that's the problem. No. I'm saying when it's so she was being manipulative, just like she was accusing them of doing. Right now, she did clear up the shirts that she bought Cam shirts because she was in Target talking to him, and he mentioned that he wasn't going to be able to go get anything, and asked would she bring something, and she said that he did pay her the money back. So she didn't bring those to him as a gift, but consumer. Oh, she was doing the exact same thing the guys were doing. The same thing that everybody's mad about Cam doing, Rose did too. But let's move on. Let's move quickly because I can't wait to hear Scorpio Mo's discussion of Cisco and his wife. Cisco has gotten married. Mighty funny that he waited until, well, he had to because Owen wouldn't let him to share that until after the reunion. But this is Cisco and his beautiful wife. He released this on his Instagram. There's a lot of different pictures of the two of them, but I was trying to get, it's video, but I wanted to get a picture of him and this young lady. I don't know anything about her, but what I do know is this. That's what I do know. It is a lot easier to convince a woman to have your back when she is your wife. It is a lot easier to get a woman to look at your future as their future when you marry them. Dating has got to be rough. Dating with no money has got to be rough. But when you tell a woman that you want to marry her, because this is very sudden, at least from what we know, the show was aired a year ago. We don't know. We don't know if, and I did watch Hussein's interview with Kamisha. Shouts out to her. I do say a woman will always lose at a man's game. We're just not built the same. It's like if you go try to play football and you don't have on pads, we're not built like that. You got to play a game that you can win. But yeah, Cisco is married and has had a couple of acting gigs. But I know just for men that I've been familiar with that may not have a lot, they will try to make a woman feel like she's a part of their future. And it's easier to do that married than dating. So going from 0 to 100 real quick is a way to get some support so that the woman is not looking, because it's like, this is my husband. This is not just somebody I'm dating. It's my husband.
But he comes off as a fellow that falls in love very quickly. He comes off as one of those dudes that he's in love with every woman he like. If he likes her, he loves her. He don't stay in like too long.
Why did you say that?
I just get that energy just on how he was and how sensitive he comes off on screen anyway. And it just man, he's just one of those dudes. And I know several of those dudes, and they can be good looking, they can have money. It's just they want to be, like how you say women say I'm in love with love. There's men that are in love with love.
That's true. That's true.
And I know y'all don't believe it, but it's real.
No, that's true. I think there are both, but I think specifically when there is a sense of urgency, when you need a place to live. Like for instance, I told you guys about my friend that got married, and they ended up getting married because he didn't have anywhere to live, so they moved in together and then they got married. So and it worked out for them. They're very happy. So I'm just saying that I think a lot of times your ability to fall in love, it could be a quicker fall if you're not on your feet. Yeah, Cisco got married. That's what we're talking about for anyone that's just joining. And this is a picture of him and his wife. She's very cute, very beautiful. And
I will say this also. I'm very curious to her field. If she's in the entertainment business,
if she's an affluent woman, period,
no, entertainment
is going to be a problem.
No, that's trust me on this. I don't know if she is. I'm just throwing that out there. She's in the entertainment business. That explains a lot. I'm just saying.
I don't know what her profession is. I just hope that we wish this sister well.
She's a beautiful woman. He's a handsome guy. Best of luck to them.
Very, very, I agree. She's very beautiful. He's very attractive. I don't know. I hope he doesn't wear when they got married, he did not wear that velvet jacket.
I bet you he did.
But yeah, we just wanted to make sure that people knew that Cisco is married. So he is off her profile says she is an RN, fitness coach, and trainer. Okay.
Fitness. Oh, okay. That makes even better. Okay. Well, not better, but yeah.
Not better, but yeah, but at least they have that in common.
He likes the women in the medical field, don't he?
RN makes a good check.
So I heard.
Oh, you know. Don't try me. You know. You've dated a few nurses in your time. Let's get back to you know what I want to talk about, which was hilarious. Because I told you this, Mo, and I have said this all the time. Our girl Kiara, first of all, Kiara looked very pretty tonight. I got to pull the clip of the ladies. I'm going to pull the clip of the ladies up here because she looked very pretty. I hate you. And she said something I've been telling Mo for a long time. She said that she was just very honest. Hold on. I'm going to wait till I put this picture up because, this is so good. So I had a girlfriend that Mo knows. I haven't talked to her in years. You know, life and circumstances often allow people to drift apart. But anyway, this young lady would always say that she liked the dynamic of Beauty and the Beast. And you guys know I'm a fairy tale girl. I'm not mad at that. And tonight, our good friend Kiara, rather, not Taye, Kiara, she acknowledged that she too likes a fairy tale dynamic. She said, because everybody kept giving her a really hard time about Jay's looks, and specifically about his skin and the smoothness of it or not. And so she said, "This is the ladies tonight. This is just a snapshot." But I thought Kiara looked really pretty. I liked her hair. I thought it was pretty. But she said that she likes the beautiful girl, ugly guy dynamic. There's D down here. Beautiful, beautiful. They all look really pretty tonight. She's got gorgeous skin. Taye looked absolutely drop dead gorgeous. Rose looked pretty, and Kiara. But yeah, no, she didn't say medium ugly. She said she likes the pretty girl, ugly guy dynamic. And I think it explains a lot about the situation with her and Jay. Now, I overheard or read in another blog that Jay said she asked him to buy her a car. So she was very clear. And she also was very, very clear about the fact that she likes to be spoiled, right? But I would just say to you all, as a woman who has been around others that may have, exercised that same fairy tale ideal. My girlfriend would say, well, I like to be like Beauty and the Beast, and she said she likes the pretty girl, ugly guy dynamic, because a lot of times when you have that dynamic, that guy will go over and above because he's so excited to have the pretty girl on his arm. And so to me, that kind of explains, because she said that she likes that dynamic. And we can all assume that she felt like that's what that dynamic was with her and Jay. Now, as I told Mo earlier, when the ugly guy or the beast, in words of my friend, the beast doesn't come through with the coins and the spoiling, then you're just with a beast. And you are not standing for that. No, the dynamic suggests the beast would have coins and would be ready to spoil and would do all the things that you want that a pretty guy is not going to do.
I put it to you this way. If that beast had coins, he wouldn't be messing with her. Let's get to that.
I don't know about that.
I'm telling you.
I don't know about it.
If the beast had the coins that she want, the beast would do better than her.
I don't think we should say that. I think she looked very good.
I'll say it.
Well, I don't want to say it. We cannot assume that. We cannot assume that.
No, I'm just saying in general, and I look at the guys that I know who may be overweight or challenged in certain areas that got paper, they want top of the line. And that's what I'm saying. When it comes to a certain amount of money that they have, they want.
Well, I understand, but I'm just hold on. Let me just clear this up. She did not call Jay a beast. She said she likes the beautiful girl, ugly guy dynamic. My girlfriend, and I told Mo because I knew what was happening when I saw this. I was like, it's like my girlfriend that says she likes Beauty and the Beast. So that's my word. That's not Kiara. Don't say that she called him a beast. But I did hear allegedly that she asked him to buy her a car, a new car.
Interesting.
So yeah, she was saying that she said looks were not important to her. She always likes and enjoys the beautiful girl, ugly guy dynamic. And
so was that ego? Would that be considered?
I'm clearing up what that dynamic is. That dynamic is you get to serving and paying and like the beast in the fairy tale.
We're talking about but in real life. But is that ego? We think you talk about fairy tales.
Because that's where it came from. That's where it came
from fairy tales that every man is walking around with a slipper trying to put it on women's feet. It's not real.
It's not real. It may be superficial. I'm just telling you what was said. And I'm trying to break it down into layman's terms with the Beauty and the Beast. But okay, pretty girl, ugly guy. A lot of girls have said they do like medium ugly. I don't think ugly has a medium. No, Kiara wanted the new car, not my friend. My friend had a car. But she did get a lot of other stuff. Sean Stokes asked Mo, hey Mo, why was Jay rubbing Naeem's shoulders?
Great question. And they brought it up on the live.
They brought it up tonight, and I loved it. Speak on it.
Kiara, of all people, was the one that really had the problem with it. The other ladies didn't necessarily see it was and to quote Kiara, she said that I've seen guys, you might be able, like, let's say if this is a sports, right? Mm-hmm. And whether it be football, basketball, baseball, you can't walk behind the bench because it's a dugout. But you might go by and you'd be like, all right, fellas, let's go. And it's like, boom, boom, move on. Mm-hmm. This man was like, he was working medicine this was longer, man. This was way uncomfortable long.
It was. I was in the car with Gun Boss, and he heard that say. So what's funny is the ladies just didn't want to throw Jay under the bus. That's what it was, because they were like, well, and then because somebody in the comments asked, and then Kiara was like, no, y'all trying to, because Taye was like, well, maybe he just, and she was like, no, you trying to make everything right. That's not it. So I asked Gun Boss, would he ever, he was like, well, you may tap, you might sue somebody on the shoulder like this,
It's
like,
quick.
But I said, no, he was going in, and they were like, well, maybe he was drunk. Gun Boss said, no, that's a no-no for a guy to be massaging, like getting into the pressure points. He was into the pressure points. But the lady said maybe he was drunk. But I'm glad that we were not the only people that picked that up, because I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, they were cutting to commercial, and I seen that caught my eye. I was like, did anybody else see that? And when y'all brought it up, I was like, all right, cool. I'm not seeing
maybe he was drunk, because I will say this.
That's
he wasn't a tissue massage.
That's even scarier if he was drunk.
The reason I think he was drunk is because of the comment that he made when Cisco and Naeem tried to ask him, was he okay, after Kiara dissed the crap out of him, and he played it off and said, "You know how many bitches I got?" Which we were like, Jay. Now, Jay.
Listen, man.
Now,
If he was drunk, I hate to see what he do when he's really drunk, because they say the truth come out when you drink it.
that was wild. I don't know. That was wild, but they did address it. They thought it was strange when they saw it also. What were your thoughts? Okay, so this was an uncomfortable moment, but I guess it needed to happen because I did watch Deonna's interview with Kojo. Kojo was in the chat. Shouts out to him. He was interacting with the ladies and everything throughout the night. But Deonna got on, and her and Cam kind of, had a confrontation, because according to Deonna, in her interview with Kojo, she tried to explain why she insulted Cam. Now, I think that, somebody said that somebody interviewed Jay this evening. He said he had drunk too much. He said he didn't even remember saying that. I wonder if he remembered the shoulders, though. But Deonna said that she didn't mean to insult Cam's height. She was just trying to take him down a peg because she didn't like the fact that he said, "You know what it is." And they got into their whole fire station thing. There being, kind of beef between the fire stations, which is really, I guess we're not firemen, so we can't speak on that. But Cam apologized. And I just want to say, ladies, like, if somebody said, everybody on that cast seems to have pretty thick skin, because they were kind of laughing about how people have been giving them a hard time about their wardrobe and their makeup and things like that. But for Cam to apologize to her, he said, "I didn't mean any disrespect. I didn't mean it that way. I didn't think you would take it that way. But if you did, I apologize." Deonna did not apologize for saying, making the crack about his height and basically belittling him. She said, "Okay, well, since you say you don't know, I'll take that, but I still have my eye on you." What were your thoughts about that conversation between Deonna and Cam?
I understand where Cam was kind of coming from. It's banter, and that's an all, like, especially with men or when you work in close quarters, right?
Right.
There's banter amongst people and whatever roof that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he, from what I understand, he was doing something at her firehouse, maybe some type of work, temporarily, and her ex was there. So apparently she works with a coworker. She has a relationship, or had a relationship with a coworker.
Right.
And Cam spoke. I kind of believe, because I can't see the other dude coming up. I don't really know, but it does seem kind of odd that the guy would come up to Cam. It seemed like it would go the other way around. But whatever happened. But you could tell she's one of those people. She don't let it go. That's the energy I got, at least. She doesn't let it go. And I don't know. Her energy, is very, that's why I thought her and Eddie might work, because they both are very, very dry. Really blank. It's not much of a personality. And maybe they're one of those people that have these shells, that you got to go through or whatever. But she just doesn't seem very personable. But that bothered her. That one bothered her. And I can understand why, but at the same time, to get dirt, because that just sounds messy.
Yeah.
Why would an ex choose those words if that's indeed what happened? I just thought that was weird. But just watching the back and forth, she comes off as a person that I'm gonna keep my eye, like, for what? We're not gonna be around it. Like, that energy is just weird to me. Like, she comes off as a person that never lets things go.
She does not let things go. She brought up the fact that Hussein gave her a crazy look. She did address the fact that she did not go out with Eddie. And you guys were right. She said that when he started to defend Cisco,
I told you.
With the broke
situation, I told you.
She said that was it. She did not even, that Thursday never came. And she said that was a turn off for her and she was over it.
When it was happening, I was like, yeah, it's grand opening, grand closing. This now, it was over.
No, it was not. It was definitely not. And we knew that. Like, and if they did go out, first of all, Eddie wasn't really. I think Eddie was attracted to her, but I think he was more interested in going out with her because it seemed like an easy thing because she said she didn't want a lot of attention. I do understand why Deonna would date a person at a fire station she works with because she's not putting a lot of energy into other people. Also, because of the way she's talked about her job and because of the way she articulates the importance of what she does, I think it would be easier for her to date a man on that does what she does because she would respect him. She's she has very narrow views on what she respects and what she doesn't. She's just, it's a lot going on. So I think she would need, all women need a man that they can respect. I don't care if the woman says it or not, but some women really need one. Like some women don't respect very easily. And I think she definitely needs a man that she really has respect for. So that would probably be someone in her field that's a lot further ahead.
I was about to say that. I was just, I guarantee you, he's more up the ladder than she is.
Yeah, definitely have to be that. I do want to point out that Taye, I still think, I love how Taye carries herself. She did not say anything negative about Cisco. They did confirm that they were made aware that Cisco got married. They didn't have any additional information on it, but she did say that she didn't know anything about it, but they knew he was married. She never ever said anything negative about him, right? She didn't, which I love. I think that she carries herself well, but she was very honest. And I think that to me, Taye is probably one of the women that I think was really ready to love. Rose saying that was a joke. Obviously, Deonna, I don't necessarily think is in that space for most men. Now, if she met a man that fit her criteria, perhaps. And Kiara, if she finds an ugly dude that's gonna kiss her ass and buy her lots of stuff, sure. But Taye, I think, has a realistic vantage point on how to be a good partner, and is really looking for the things that I think would make a man a really good wife. And she said that she really, really wants to be with someone that she can look up to, that she can really take guidance from and leadership from. She said that she did not feel like when they started to get to know each other after the show, she said it wasn't necessarily about the money. It was about the fact that she was asking him, how did he get in that situation? And she did not see him. He was not giving her answers that made her feel confident in the fact that he'd be able to get out.
You're right. And also something she said, it's really started to have my wheels turning when she said, and I've heard this from women before, I want somebody I can learn from, right? And it had me thinking, like, if, let's say I'm dating a woman, we're the same age. We probably went to the same school. And it's like, what is she expecting me? Unless we got different walks of life and I teach you about my walk of life, it's not much really you're going to, and it made me start to think that's the reason why back in the day, they wanted women, or the family would let an older man, because she can learn. It's either that, or it just really started to make me think of the dynamic. And I think, I don't know if we got stuff wrong, but maybe that was for that reason, which she could. But how do we, if we're the same, then you can't learn. It's not too much you're going to learn from me. What, the change of tire? We're talking about life experiences and moving forward in life. So I'm just trying to understand. I'm trying to, this came to me when I was watching the show. I'm just like, well, how does that work? And if it is, and I know this probably going to piss people off, and you want him to be the leader, then he's the head, then he is the what do they say? Then he would have to be, I don't want to say that word, but he would have to be someone you look up to and you value almost more than yourself. Not more than yourself as living, but he knows more. He's going to lead us.
Yeah, I don't think age necessarily plays into it, but I do think maturity level does. And I think that what she said, experience could, but I think people can have different experiences, right? Like my husband is not, he's a couple of years younger than me, but he has had a very different life than I have, right? He was in the military for 20 years. He just, you know, and I do respect some of the ways that he just has a very, we've experienced life differently. I think he respects me as well, but I don't think that I don't think it's always indicative of age. Maybe that could have been one of the reasons why. But I think in this situation, the problem is Taye is looking at the fact that she is in her 30s, right? In her mid 30s, and she has been very mindful of what she's done with her time. And I think when she said that she was concerned, she's listening to how Cisco got into this situation and also listening for him to share how he sees himself being able to get out of it. And however he explained that to her, I think one of the things that she said on the reunion was key. When you quit a job because you want to go model, and that speaks to a person that priorities may be different than a person who is looking to get married and have children, right? Not even may, it does. So I don't think that's about age. I think it's about like, okay, if we're both 40, what have you done with these 40 years? If we're both 50, what have you been doing with those 50 years? If we're 20, because when I was in college, there were guys that were just, they knew what they wanted out of life. They probably had somebody in their life that kind of showed them, okay, this is what you want to do. They knew what they wanted, even some without, because I can't even say that. There's some guys that grew up without a dad, but they were on their shit and they knew what they wanted. They were getting good grades in school. They knew they wanted to do this and they knew what they wanted for their future. Everybody gets there at different times, but I don't think that it necessarily always is with age, because I meet a lot of people that are 45 and up and are clueless. You know what I mean? So I think it really has to do with how you personally manage your time and your resources.
And how do you think like, because I know for a lot of guys, a lot of it, I hate to say it, but a lot of the distraction were women.
And but that's not to be distracted. If you allow the women to be.
Let me finish. They, you know, a lot of their distractions were women. It's not that it's the woman's fault, but you know, they're heterosexual men, they like women, and maybe, you know, I think guidance, because you can allow yourself to get caught up into something and no one can wake you or shake you up, or someone should. And I think this is the part where you have, hopefully, like there's a man, because we're more receptive to men and listening to other men a lot of times because we feel like they can relate. You know, that's one of the reasons why is, even if it's not the father, it's an uncle, it's a grandfather, to help the young man navigate and not to allow yourself to be distracted, because she's getting her stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I've seen
there are some women that don't have their stuff together.
No, it's not, but you know, she's, you know, like a lot of women are raised, look, you're gonna have to, you know, because a lot of them are raised that a man ain't gonna always, you know.
Most of them are raised.
Yeah, and so we're thinking like that, and I'm just knowing, and it could be a lot of things. It could be the sports thing, but a lot of the sports thing that they're focused on, that's their focus, and that's their first love. And you know, the mother's being supportive, and he winds up going to the NFL, NBA, whatever the case may be. You know, or this pursuit to chase money while you're young, you know, because maybe you didn't have anything in the household, or you're out here trying to impress. And I would just encourage. And when I speak to young brothers, I try to tell them, you know, whatever I can to avoid the mistakes that I made, the mistakes that I've seen other people make, and really focus on you. But no one's telling them that. And the guys that I do see that cut through that, a lot of times, if it's not both parents, and to be honest with you, it's usually a mother.
Yeah.
They got tired of seeing their mother, and they wanted to be a better man than they heard their father was.
I've seen that. I've seen guys actually say,
you know what I'm saying? They heard he might not be a whatever, but whatever they heard about him that was negative, he wasn't trying to be him, and that became his focus.
Another thing I think I want to point out. There's two things I want to point out before we get out of here, because I know we said we're going to get off at 10:30. Two things. Taye said something that was very smart. I think she's my favorite because I think she's pretty, but she's not full of herself. I think she's a hard worker, but I also think she has empathy and concern for others, right? And so she was like, I don't mind going 50-50, but this is the key. She said, I know where my lifestyle is now, right? Where the way I am now, where my lifestyle is, if going 50-50 on bills is going to mean that takes all your money and you're broke, then after going 50-50, then I don't want to do that. I don't want to do something with a man that is going to be stuck after because he really can't afford this lifestyle. I thought that was very intuitive. She also acknowledged that she probably made that decision based on the fact that everybody was really encouraging her. A lot of the public were encouraging her to give Cisco a chance and not to, and the fact that he put a lot of pressure on and really, really chased her, And so Tommy, yeah.
That's what sealed the deal to me.
Yeah.
That she didn't want to do because she did say the pressure from people.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I want to point out, and we say this all the time, or Bo and I talk about this all the time. I feel like women this season proved that women really do not pick husbands, or once they are out of their 20s and into their 30s and moving into their 40s, women really do pick men based on their ability to provide. There was a potential for, people kept saying, Deonna said that she thought Taye should have talked to Khalil, and Khalil actually would not get on the live, which I respect. That means he's a real man. He was like, I ain't gonna talk about this with you on the live. We'll talk about it later. Good for him. But
that makes him a real man. But yeah, that's
well,
cool.
I'm just saying, I don't think the dudes that want a guy who's truly interested in you is not going to want to do that conversation on a live for other people. Like, that's not how to me. That's just my opinion. I think that he's going to want to talk to you in real life, not on the internet for everybody else to start talking about it and to become like a trending topic the next day. So I like the fact that he was like, no, I'm not going to do that, because then it would have been jokes for everybody and other girls saying, well, do this. What you going to do? Are you going to treat my friend right? And that's not conducive to a real relationship. But I like the fact that the girls showed, they all said Eddie was very good looking, very, very good looking, but they felt like Eddie was unserious. And so I think all the men listening tonight need to know that you can look like Cisco, you can look like Eddie, but at the end of the day, women aren't going for that. And those women were just very clear about it. Like, Eddie looks good, but nah, Eddie ain't Eddie. And they said he had some motion, but that attitude and everything that he was doing wasn't enough.
He wasn't chasing them. He wasn't chasing them.
He wasn't chasing them, but they also weren't chasing him.
Yeah. So
yeah, Deonna said that she understood people did not like the wig. She said she got dragged for the wig, but she didn't take the comments too seriously. And I like that. She has thick skin. She was like, it's cool. These people don't know me. They all know they're attractive women in real life.
Well, I thought it was funny that when she first got on, she had to run for the filter. And it's like, hold on, y'all. Let me find the filter. That's starting to really bother me.
And she said, the rest of you guys are on here looking beautiful. I got to get the filter. She did.
Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
She did. I heard that, and I was like, oh, because she said it a couple of times that she didn't want to be. I think women compare themselves to other women a lot. But I also enjoyed Deonna and Taye probably the most in the live. Rose didn't really. Is there anything that Rose said that cleared up anything for you?
She said the shirts. She also she wanted people not to know that nothing was wrong with her when she brought up the incident, because she was making it a part of her story. And I guess technically it is, but technically it's not. I mean, because you were there when you seen it, I don't necessarily think that makes it your story because it had nothing to do with you.
And it was after filming.
And it was thank you. And it was after filming. So for her to make that and to go into there was a woman that had a situation that wasn't sure about.
They had a scare.
Yeah, had a scare, but the way it worded, it just I don't know. It worded it kind of funny from him. It didn't sound like a scare.
No, he said she was a few days later her period.
That was the reason of taking the test. But I'm talking about afterwards. And what I mean by that was it didn't sound like, oh, and it came up, it wasn't that. It just sounded like something else to me. I'm just gonna put that out there. And I'm not saying I don't want to start any rumors. And the way he said it was, and it's not no more. That just, you see what I'm saying? And she's not no more.
Yeah.
That just felt weird.
Well, she's not no more means that maybe she was at first and now she's not anymore. Like, I don't know. But regardless, I feel like, I'm glad you said that. I don't feel like that was Rose's story because number one, the cameras are off. So whatever happened, whatever y'all did after the cameras were off was not a part of your Ready to Love's journey with this person. Now, the fact that you were in his phone and she was trying to put him out. That's the thing. She was trying really hard because not only did she said, Cam said, well, I hate the people on the show that I was a narcissist and I was a controlling. And Rose was like, well, they probably got all that from me because I said that. And she did. She was trying to put him out. She was trying to put Eddie out. She was trying to put Hussein out. And I feel like that was why I had a problem with Rose, because I felt like because she was hurt and didn't get what she wanted, her happy ending, which meant that Rose left the show with some man picked her. That would have gave her a happy ending. When she tried to get it afterwards that didn't work, then she wanted to hurt everybody else. She also wanted to clear up the fact that I guess Hussein allegedly mentioned her being on some type of substance. And she said that she was on pain medication because of fibroids. And she did. It just went a little bit too much with that. So I don't know. Let me say something. If you have fibroids and you're dealing with a lot of pain, don't be on reality TV because it's going to be crazy. Because she kept trying to use that as a reason that she looked crazy sometimes. But I don't even think people felt like she looked crazy.
But let me ask you this. You don't offer somebody that. According to him, as far as his statement was, she offered him some.
That's true. And then she tried to say, well, the people that accuse me of it, they're on it themselves. Like, girl, it's just...
You would have said that then. I don't believe it. You would have said that then. I don't believe it.
You would have said anything that she had was coming at them that day. So you're right. I don't believe it. But I think we have news. We want to share that we have a cast member that's going to be coming on to chat with us this coming week. And we have almost 400 people here in the chat. So I feel like we ought to get the likes up and then let people know who will be joining us this week.
This Thursday, to be exact.
This Thursday. Drum roll, Mo. Do you have a drum roll?
I do not. Oh. Ting.
Okay.
You're supposed to go.
Oh, I was letting you do it. Okay, do it again. Okay. All right, this Thursday at 8:00, Cam will be joining us. Cam will be on the recap room, and we are going to get into all of this. And we are not letting anyone else come up. In years past, we have allowed other cast members to come on. Not doing that because I want Cam to be able. This is a safe space, and we want Cam to be able to talk. We want Cam to be able to share his truth. I don't want anybody in the chat. Now, I will say before Cam comes on Thursday, Rose is spilling her Rosalie tea, Rose with the tea, Rosalie or something like that on her channel. So we may have even more information to ask Cam about. But please come join us on Thursday because Cam is going to be joining us at 8 p.m. Scorpio, Mo, and I will be talking. Don't be tired of Cam. I feel like there's so much more we need to know. There's so much we need to know. Why was Rose helping him move? When did he try to talk to Sahara again? He said tonight on tonight's live that he and Sahara did reconnect, and now they're back in a bad place. So, what?
Are you surprised?
No, I knew. I was thinking about you. I said, I know Mo was like, I could have told him. That is not going to work. That is not going to work. So we will have Cam in the building. We will ask him about, because I guess Sahara unblocked him, and it sounds like he may be blocked again. So I'm interested in, and Mo will get a chance to ask him about his process. Now, tonight, he suggested, and he is a firefighter, because I did see the way that Deonna tried to kind of question that. But when they were talking tonight on the live, it's clear that he really is a firefighter.
Yeah.
He's a firefighter. I think that tonight he did suggest that he knew who he wanted to pick, but I don't really know if he did.
His actions proved it.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I think, but he also said that he really genuinely had feelings for all the different ladies.
Forget what he said. Look at what he did.
Okay, you're right. We're gonna get into all this with Cam. We're gonna get into it with Cam on Thursday. You guys join us. We may have a surprise on Wednesday, but join us on Thursday for the conversation with Cam. And then we'll see. Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, well, you guys get off to a great week. This is cool hanging out together as a family on Sunday night. If you aren't a subscriber, make sure that you like and subscribe so that you are able to get a notification. Naomi says Cam can't be trusted. We got to give him an opportunity to share his truth. I want him to share his truth. Okay. Yes, we always behave. You guys know we behave. We have a little fun, but we have to behave, okay? Because this is a safe space. We felt like it was a safe space for Taye. It has to be a safe space for Cam. So you guys, not Scam ain't got no fires to fight. He is fighting fires. That's why he can't join us until Thursday, because he will be watching. Yes. So we will see you guys. I will see you guys on tomorrow. And then Mo and I will see you on Wednesday for Dating Diaries. And then we will all be here locked in for Cam on Thursday. We love you guys. Like I said, get off to a great week. We love y'all. See you tomorrow. Bye.
There you go.